just close with something I talk about here a lot as a way of closing out many of these meetings, but I think it's particularly important right now, which is why are we all here? What are we doing here? Right? All of you could be doing something else tonight, and you're here, and because you love your country and you're willing to fight for it. And I'm really so grateful to be in this community with all of you. But I think a central reason that I'm here, and I think really all of us are here, is based on something that Joe Biden talked about in his State of the Union address in January or in March of this year, which is the idea. He referenced FDR's State of the Union address in 1941. And what he said about that speech was that it was really the beginning of the rallying of the American people to go fight the fascists, a rallying that ended up being successful. And in that speech, Joe Biden, that speech, which he alluded to as the State of the Union speech, is also known as the Four Freedoms speech. And it's the speech where FDR articulated these founding principles of the modern world, which is a world based on freedom and not dominion. And the four freedoms of freedom of speech and religion, freedom from fear, freedom from want. I love the concept of freedom from want, right? It's such a powerful thing. These simple formulations that FDR himself wrote on a yellow pad, they still have the yellow pad where he wrote this out in preparation for the speech, became those words and that theory became the foundation of the modern world that we live in today. They were the foundation of the Atlantic Charter signed in 1941 that became the basis of the alliance that won World War II. They became in the foundation of the United Nations Charter, which was set up, the United Nations was set up to create a world of freedom and not dominion, where nations didn't have control over one another. They became the foundation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, which was negotiated in part by Eleanor Roosevelt, which then created an international law and understanding that human beings had rights, not just nations, which had been the case up until this point. And that to extend this notion of a world of freedom and not dominion to people themselves and not just to nations. And that foundation of the world that FDR built and articulated in those four freedoms, and the work that our country did to sort of build a world around them, NATO and Pax Americana, the United Nations, and all these tools of the modern world, that world over the last 80 years has created a golden age in human history. There's never been a better time to be alive in all of human history than during these last 80 years. We've seen global poverty rates plummet to very low levels despite a huge explosion of population. Life expectancy has gone from 45 years to 71 years. We've seen more people living under democracies today, or in recent years anyway, than any time in human history. And literacy has tripled during this period, meaning that far more people can do and contribute and pursue their dreams than any other time in human history. There's never been a better time to be alive in all of human history than in these last 80 years, this time of the four freedoms. And what's important to us as we go ready to go win this election is that we did that. The Democratic Party of the United States created a golden age in human history. That it is very arguable, and I will make this argument, that no other organized political force has done more good for more people than the Democratic Party of the United States. And that we've allowed billions of people to pursue their dreams in ways that was unimaginable in a world prior to World War II and to FDR's four freedoms. And what we have to understand about what this election is all about is that Donald Trump and Greater MAGA and Vladimir Putin and the Chinese leaders and the Iranian leaders want to return to a world not of freedom, but of dominion, where people have control over one another. And that's what's at stake here, right? Is that world that we built and we imagined and built and that many Americans died for is under extraordinary threat domestically and abroad. And what is important to me as I get ready to go finish this with all of you is that our party was called once before in the 1940s, and we answered this call. And we're all being called again. And one of the reasons I'm so confident we're going to win is because all of you are answering the call. Millions of you have gone to work, 80 million postcards, unprecedented number of door knocks, incredible numbers of phone calls, unprecedented levels of donations, right, that have fueled our campaigns. All of you have been answering this call powerfully, inspirationally, right? Every day you've gone and done the work. It's why we've been winning in all these elections all across the country. Yeah, we've had good candidates, we've had good issues, but we're winning because of all of you and because all of you are answering this call. But as important as all the work that we've done to this point has been, the work we do in these next 6 days is more important. And it's why we've got to go leave it all out in the playing field, because now what we're battling for is the future, not just of our kids and our grandkids, but the kids and the grandkids of all the people of the entire world. Because we need to make sure that this world of freedom and not dominion that was given to us is there for our kids and our grandkids, but all the kids and grandkids of all the people throughout the entire world. That's what's at stake here. And so let's go to work, everybody. Let's be inspired by our leaders who've come before and make sure that we are as resolute and strong as they were in defending their country as we're about to be over these next 6 days. Tom, thank you so much for being here. Love you guys so much. You know, it's when we fight, we win. And hard work is good work. We can do hard things, all those things. Let's go to work and win this thing together. Thanks, everybody, so much.